Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 4. Yes, December 4th. Y'all were so nice in comments saying just the loveliest things, and I really appreciate you. You're amazing. It really makes me so giddy knowing that some of YouTube is still this fun corner that you can count on just to be silly, just to be yourself, that not everything is a protection and not everything is massively seriously. So thank you for being here, and thank you for being so incredibly lovely. And goofy. I appreciate goofiness too. Today, I've got no major business to attend to. I'm not Linda the businesswoman today, per se. You have a job to go to, which you gotta do what you gotta do. I have been thinking about a topic for the longest time, and I'm thinking about making a video. Let's just continue doing this makeup Vlogmas thingy, and if that means that future Linda is ready for an unexpected but kind of sort of planned video, fantastic. Today's chosen palette is the Huda Beauty Nude. First of all, can we just stop bringing James Charles from the dead? Like, he's fine in the pit, okay? James Charles is fine in the pit. Leave the pit alone, okay? And everyone who belongs there. Looking at you, Jeffree Star. Huda Beauty, arguably my most used palette. Look at all these beautimous things. This is a concealer that I tried to use a couple of times, and then it just started collecting the makeup dust, so I stopped. The whole palette needs a little bit of tidying. But I just wanted to tell you one thing. Like, look, I still even have the protective layer on the mirror. I never do this. Like, I'm the person who has to take all the protective plastic foil things off immediately. But for some reason, I left this one on the mirror. Got this one with a friend who really got me into eye makeup. Thanks, Anna. That cost me a ton of money. I think we went to get the Cyber palette, which is going to make an appearance in the later videos, and I saw this one, and half of this is just glitters and all that whatnot. Can we talk about this part? These two shades that are pure glitter, and these like with the glimmer. Oh, just beautimous, stunning. It is on the purple side, which is highly divisive. I do not love purple. I just don't like it. It's fine. I have a love and hate relationship with it. But this palette has a lot of those. We're not going to dabble into those. We're going to stay with more of a nudie pinkish look today, because I do want to keep it simple, minding, my health. So let's just get right into it. I did like the primer yesterday. I feel like it held up quite nicely, so we're going to continue with this eye primer. This one also cost like 10 to 12 quid, so not a massive investment when you compare it to like Urban Decay or other primers. So we're just gonna go into it. I also appreciate that I'm a bit further from the camera today. I really needed to make sure that I don't have to move halfway, because I wasn't just like feeling up to it. But hopefully you welcome the LKT studio. Well, that is doubling as my office, or vice versa, depending on your preferences, whether you want to see me as Linda the employed person or Linda the person who just loves making YouTube videos as a creative outlet. Have I ever talked about like how the evolution of my thinking about YouTube went about? I talk about it to my family all the time, so it's probably why I don't like think to tell anyone else, but I loved fashion YouTube. For the longest time, it was me being interested in fashion without actually being able to afford fashion, but still keeping up with it. I didn't have to buy magazines, I didn't have to go to the shops that were not necessarily where I was living at the time, and I just loved some of the personalities at the time. That's how I got into it. And then I started saving up and, shopping for some of those things myself. I also starting to get a lot of professional education. So I got a lot of business education, a lot of other education that comes with my daily job. And things started to go a bit sideways. Let's talk eyeshadow. So we're going to start with this extremely light one, just to set the lid a little bit. And so that was the beginning. And then with the with all the lockdowns, the trend on fashion YouTube was just the wow factor, the shock factor, right? Like, oh, look at my massive wardrobe, look at my massive Louboutin collection, look at all this unboxing, look at what I bought, etc. And for a short period of time, I was actually quite interested because, again, I like the things, I like pretty things, and I also like some of the personalities and I wanted to support them. Quickly, it got not nice, right? Like, it wasn't great. It seemed like it wasn't about the appreciation of fashion or just like valuing it, but hoarding or cycling the trends, you know, getting the clicks and views. And I think there is a, without being naive about content creation, I think there is a point where it becomes your job, still with the same light shade, and you do start to prioritize the views and the growth of the channel, which is perfectly acceptable, you know, that's perfectly fine and normal, and that's how capitalism works, that's how companies, businesses work. For me, that was no longer something that I could relate it to. So I started detaching, and I do have to say, like, I started doing videos and I didn't know how to start a YouTube channel. I didn't know that some people would just like sit down and listen to me yap about whatever because they were friends or something like that. And by the way, again, appreciate you loads. But I thought, oh, people are looking for some sort of content, some sort of value. So what is my value? How do I bring value? All right, second one. This is a shade called Tickle. I go into this one quite a lot. We're just gonna do 2/3 of the lid with the Tickle one. And then I just want to keep it simple today. So I thought, well, I need to start providing value by talking about, you know, my shopping experiences, how oftentimes it was like how I was treated because I was young or young looking or whatever. I wasn't really, I never look like I can afford to be in the store or whatever. And things certainly changed. Like, first of all, not every sales associate is like that, but also things changed. I'll make sure that my semi-hoodie guy does well. So I started talking about like, oh, I went to Chanel, I wanted to spend a lot of money there, but it wasn't really great. But I did end up spending money there because I just found something that I loved. Or just like a little bit of unboxing. I'm also part of a different community on YouTube, so I thought, well, it could be kind of fun to sort of combine those things. But ultimately, I just landed on this, look, I just want to talk about things that are on my mind. I'm not necessarily a person to be advocating for something on YouTube. Like, I don't think what comes to mind comes, you know, religion or politics or something like that. I don't think I've got the capacity to do so, whether that's mental or physical. And I thought, well, I might just contribute with my thoughts and opinions. Maybe that will resonate with someone, maybe not. I try to live a life that is accepting of, we live in a capitalist world, but also we do have choices to make. And that's why I then start to untangle all these videos about Galliano and Naomi Campbell and just how it affects me and my thinking about everything. So the video I'm thinking about making today, time permits, is on price increases. There's only as much as we can say about capitalism and price increases. How's it looking so far? Okay. I don't think I have a unique perspective, but I think I have a perspective that is not often, I haven't really seen much discussed. And that's about the expectations of the brands and mostly the brands leaders. So I sort of want to talk about the blend of appreciation of fashion, maybe brand loyalty, but also business as it is, and how, because I did a lot of work when it comes to customer experience, how that all comes together, right? If just this horrible short elevator pitch sounds intriguing, stay tuned. I always appreciate, I think this eye is a bit uneven. I always appreciate your opinions because I know that we are all in a situation where we maybe fashion is not at the forefront of our minds. We struggle with other things, whether that's, well, we struggle with other things. So learning what other people have to say. I could be living in my own bubble and not even know it. And I don't want to do that, you know. I always want to learn about others. I always want to grow. Going back with primer just for, sorry, calm down, Linda. I'm going back with the primer just for the inner corner because I do want to make sure that it stays in there. So I'm just going to do a little bit of that 1/3 that we sort of left. I'm going to go back with a primer so that we have a little bit of extra base for the next eyeshadow. As I was saying, I do want to stay like in a state of continuous education. I want to learn about people. I don't want to think that I have learned everything there is to learn. And I think that's just such a dangerous place. In previous life, I studied science. So science teaches you to constantly revisit the topics, constantly question what you've learned. Never presume that you know everything. You know, peer reviews are a thing for a reason. Now, next eyeshadow is this one. It's gorgeous, called Fantasy. It's sort of in there. Is this beautiful metallic shade, so we're gonna go with it. And we're gonna be very careful to stay in that corner. We're then gonna gently blend it out, but just extremely lightly. Right, I was ranting about something, but I think my point was I want to keep learning. I want to keep pushing what I think I know, and I also want to be able to exercise my right to say things, you know? Alright, so eyeshadow, Fantasy, and just going in the corner. I could have used a different brush. Also, I think, you know, fashion world is extremely authoritarian or egalitarian, if you like. It is very much like, oh, this person, they're a fashion critic, they're Anna Wintour or whatever. You have to just absolutely obey everything they say. I'm not here for fashion nationalism. I'm just not here for this, right? Like if I want to go defend silly Louis Vuitton dumbbells, I will. And if I want to go and defend customers against price rises, I will. It's not gonna change anything because a single person cannot change anything, but we vote with our dollars, pounds and euros. Sometimes I feel like free speech is all I have. And I think my second point to defend the world of fashion, I just want to help or somehow contribute towards stopping the stereotypical approach that is still extremely inherent in the world of fashion. If I want to spend a lot of money on something, I should be able to. I understand we have massive problems in 2024. Buying a handbag, buying shoes, or spending something, I don't think that constitutes a comment. There is a point where if it's not hoarding, if you don't want to talk about the environmentalism, if you don't want to talk about inclusion, diversity, if you don't want to talk about just living life, you are essentially just stepping on other person's joy. I don't know if I'm making much sense. I might cut this out. I just hate that person spends so much on this and that. Like, sure, well, they have the money, and I would hate if someone came in and told me what to do with my money. It's not nice. I don't think that you can change someone's opinions by adamantly insisting that their choices are bad. Just ask my mother how well that worked for her. So future of the fashion corner, yeah, probably just a lot of yapping. Hope you're here for that. Alright, so I'm just looking at the palette. No, actually, lean in. I don't know if you can tell. Now I'm going to like lightly tidy and just buff out the pinks. I do love a pink eyeshadow. Okay, perfect. For the lower lid, I'll go with this shade called Teddy. I'll just go very lightly in with this shade. Anyway, when I was thinking about this Vlogmas, I was like, it's fine, you're just gonna do your makeup, you don't have to talk, you don't have to entertain everyone. Because you see, you know, channels doing all the things and they just talk, and I was like, I'm not really sure whether I'm going to be able to do that. I don't really have much to say, but here we are, yapping all the time. Under eyes. Look, guys, I didn't really sleep, so what else is new? Mascara, still the same one. I was gonna get into false eyelashes. I even got a pair. I need to learn how to do that first. Alright, I don't think I need to go with highlighter in the inner corner. I think the pink glitter does the job. Last order of the business. I'm gonna go back to the Laura Mercier. It is so cute. My plan for today is to rest. Think about think about what I want to say in the video, because I don't think this one is going to be scripted as my other videos. I think it's going to be more of a make bullet points and try to talk. So there's that. I'm a nightmare when it comes to lip balms. Like I'll buy any tinted lip balm essentially. But when it comes to treating my lips, Neutrogena, baby. I mean, what else is there to say about Neutrogena? That is the vibe that I'm going for, you know? Freshly washed face, flawless, pale skin. Not that I can change anything about the paleness. Okay, look, I think this powder is just so good. Can you see on the camera like how blurry and smooth the skin gets because the pores just disappear? I just stabbed myself in the eye with the powder puff. Anyway, I'm really happy with the powder. If you're looking to treat yourself to a powder, however silly that sounds, go for it. Alright, today we're gonna do a little bit of lipstick. I'm not gonna overdo it because of the lips, but I do... Stop talking. I do want to add a little bit of color to my lips today, just to feel good. Shockingly, this is not a mini. This is a sample that I got. It's a Tom Ford lipstick. I got it at the airport. It's this stunning shade of pink, really beautiful. And I cannot say enough good things about the quality of this lipstick. I don't think he only does minis. I don't think Tom Ford wants mini anything in his life, if you know what I mean. And to be fair, I feel that vibe. Now, don't let me discourage you from trying Tom Ford lipsticks. My lips are really, really in a bad condition today. I just wanted to feel a little prettier after yesterday, and today is not ideal as well, so I did a little bit of just bringing a little joy to my life. Tom Ford in the shade Casablanca. You can get your hands on a tester through like Sephora. Go for it. I would strongly recommend it. This is Pink Linda for today. I wear this look all the time. I do like the heavy pink on top. Well, heavy pink. I do love the pink on top and just a slight nude shade on the lower lid. I'm babbling at this point. So we're gonna say goodbye to Vlogmas Day 4. Thank you for being here. I keep checking whether it's day 4 or not. It feels longer. Thank you for putting up with me until the very end, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 5, or I'll see you for that video about price increases, whichever comes first. All right, bye. Have a fantastic day.